بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. My dear respected listeners, continuing with the virtues of these 10 days and also those actions that should be performed in these 10 days. And again, I always remind myself and all of us as well, istiqamah and steadfastness is the main thing. What happens after these 10 days are over? What happens when Ramadan is over? So the most important salah after the fard salah, the most virtuous of salahs after the fard salah, the most powerful salah after the fard salah is the salah of tahajjud. Alaykum biqiyam al-layl. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, hold fast onto qiyamul layl. Hold fast onto qiyamul layl. فإنه دأب الصالحين قبلكم, because it is the habit of the pious before you. All of the pious predecessors, look into the lives of all the great saints of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They had some aspect of seclusion of ibadah in their lives when it came to their nights. You don't find a righteous pious slave of Allah sleeping throughout the night. Illa masha'Allah. It doesn't mean a person cannot be pious without tahajjud. You can be pious without tahajjud. That's what the scholars always remind us. A person can pray tahajjud, but he takes bribes and he commits fornication and all of these other acts. His tahajjud is not going to help him out. Right? The person who does his 5 times salah and suffices on that and stays away from sin is better. Right? But that's only an example. However, we have to have some type of worship in our nights. In Canada, mashallah, the nights are all over the place. Right now, nights are very short. It's very difficult to go to sleep at night and then wake up for tahajjud, for example, right? Because the Isha Salah is at 11 p.m. By the time you get home, get into bed and everything, it's already midnight, right? Fajr's time comes in at around 3 something, right? So the preferred earlier time, which is around nowadays 3:20, 3:25, is when Fajr time is coming in, right? The safer time. So it is almost impossible, right? Especially if a person is working, you have school, to wake up for tahajjud. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy, and the hadith make it easy for us. Everything after Salatul Isha is Qiyamul Layl. Anything we perform after our Isha Salah is Qiyamul Layl. So what is a simple thing to do is to perform a few units of prayer before we go to sleep. We come for Isha to the Masjid, alhamdulillah. We try to come for Isha to the Masjid. We perform Isha in congregation, right? Perform your Sunnah, right? And leave your witr, right? Leave your witr for the very end. Go home, and before you go to sleep, instead of falling asleep by watching some drama or Netflix or this and that, right? Us and our children, older children, they should have the habit of performing wudu before going to sleep. An angel is deputed for a person and makes dua the whole night. Allahumma ghfir lahu warhamhu. Allahumma ghfir lahu, Allahumma arhamhu. Allahumma ghfir lahu. Whole night angels making dua, oh Allah, forgive him, have mercy on him. Forgive him, have mercy on him. Why? He made wudu at night before going to sleep. What's the best thing to do after wudu? Perform tahiyyatul wudu, which is tahajjud, which is qiyamul layl. Perform 2 rak'ahs, 4 rak'ahs before we go to sleep. Imagine we die in that sleep. How many people died in their sleep? My uncle, my father's brother, passed away in his sleep. He wasn't even that old. Father was really, usually family members, when they sudden death, right? It really affects a person. My father wasn't even that grieved when his parents passed away, because this was all of a sudden. So many people pass away in their sleep. So this is something that is a forgotten sunnah, or it's neglected. It's been 2 months since the last 10 nights of Ramadan. In the last 10 nights of Ramadan, we were all, alhamdulillah, performing Qiyamul Layl, some type of Qiyamul Layl, whether it was Taraweeh, whether it was Tahajjud, whatever it was, right? Only very unfortunate slaves didn't get the chance to not stand in salah in these last 10 nights. So we are missing that spiritual high, that spiritual feeling that we all have in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. The reason for that is because when we are standing before Allah in salah, in tahajjud, in qiyam, you feel a stronger connection with Allah. When that stops, the connection's gone. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ told Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu, do not be like that person who used to perform tahajjud, then he left it. Don't be like that person. That's a very sad case. Don't be like that person who used to perform tahajjud, then he left it. So once we started performing, then we always perform. Right? So like I said, we don't have to, it's best to obviously wake up in the night and perform. Right? But for example, for our situation, our circumstance, right? Isha is, our timings are all over the place in this country, this part of the world. So then we should at least perform something before we go to sleep. Right? Make a dua at that time. This is a very special time. And majority of the ummah is neglectful of this blessing of Allah. Right? If you want your children to be on track, you want your children to be pious, you want your children to be on point, you want your family matters to be taken care of, you want your financial matters to be taken care of, this is the solution. Tahajjud is the solution. This is the time of acceptance of du'as. Right? And especially in these nights, which we mentioned, that if the ahadith mention that every single night is as if you are worshipping in Laylatul Qadr, right? If you are worshipping Allah, it's as if every single night of these nights is Laylatul Qadr, then obviously we should be standing in salah in these 10 nights. So let us, inshallah, make this a point in our lives, right? I can't emphasize this anymore, but we should all, every single one of us, make it a point that I am performing some type of extra optional prayer at night. And this is a secret between yourselves and Allah, between ourselves and Allah. Right? No one should know how much, where, things like that. Tahajjud salah is a secret between the slave and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And that is true servitude, right? When a person takes out his free time or his own time and in seclusion, he is directly communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when we're in the communal prayer, right, we're together. This is necessary. We have no choice. We have to perform salah, right? Abdullah bin Mas'ud said, whoever believes in Allah in the last day, his salah should be performed in the masjid where the congregation takes place. He said, in our time, only the hypocrite, in the time of Rasulullah, only the hypocrite misses salah in congregation. So for us, this is something extra, optional, mashallah. For the Sahaba, it wasn't. For us, I feel like, seriously, when I feel like I came for Fajr to the masjid, alhamdulillah, I'm someone, special. I came for Fajr to the masjid. No. For the Sahaba, radiallahu anh, their philosophy was, you have to come for Salah to the masjid. You're only an open sinner, open hypocrite, if you are missing Salah in the masjid. The extra optional prayer, which was the secret of their piety, was their tahajjud salah. That is when our true colors can come out. Our true worship comes out when no one is watching you, when no one is watching us. So that's why it is extra emphasized, by the ahadith, through the words of the Quran as well. Rasulullah ﷺ is commanded as well, right, to perform the salah of tahajjud. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ نَافِلَةً لَكَ عَسَىٰ أَن يَبْعَثَكَ رَبُّكَ مَقَامًا مَحْمُودًا. The maqam mahmud, that station of praise on the day of judgment, is given to Rasulullah ﷺ, right? But Allah tells him, you will be given this position, right? It is possible, it is likely that you will be given this position after telling him to perform tahajjud. So we should all have this part of our lives to perform some type of optional prayer when no one is around, no one is watching. Make dua at that time. This is a time of acceptance. This is a very special time. Special attention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upon this ummah at this time. And we are only depriving ourselves if we are not engaging in some type of worship in this time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to heed this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to act upon this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Now inshallah we'll make dua, and today the adhan again will be at 9:06 inshallah. الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر كله اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين ويا ذا القوة المتين ويا راحم المساكين ويا أرحم الراحمين لك الحمد أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت ملك السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت قيام السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وتحنن وترحم على محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد جزا الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هو أهله اللهم ربنا أتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين اللهم اجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون اللهم اجعلنا من الذين إذا أحسنوا استبشروا وإذا أساءوا استغفروا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم جنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من فتنة الدنيا وعذاب القبر وعذاب الآخرة اللهم ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى واجعل آخرتنا خيرا من الأولى اللهم اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم إنك أنت الأعز الأكرم اللهم اغفر لأمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم تجاوز عن أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم ارحم أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اهد أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم تجاوز عن أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين فإنك إن تكلنا إلى أنفسنا تكلنا إلى عورة وضعف يا رب العالمين اللهم آنس وحشتنا في قبورنا اللهم ارحمنا بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لنا إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته أناء الليل وأناء النهار واجعله لنا حجة يا رب العالمين اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك Oh Allah, we beg you for your favors, Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive us in these blessed days of Dhul Hijjah, Oh Allah, we ask you for the barakat and the blessings of these days of Dhul Hijjah, Ya Allah, we ask for your forgiveness and your mercy in these blessed days of Dhul Hijjah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask you that you forgive the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask you that you guide the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask you, Ya Allah, to remove the calamities from the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, we ask you to make easy our situation and our lives in this world, our lives in the qabr and the akhirah, Ya Allah. Allah, you rectify the matters of our deen because that is the most important of our matters. Oh Allah, rectify the matters of our dunya because we are living in the dunya. Oh Allah, rectify the matters of our akhirah because to it we have to return. Oh Allah, that is our final abode. Oh Allah, make the rest of our lives a means of good for us. And oh Allah, make our death a means of coolness and comfort. And oh Allah, a means of coming out of difficulty, Ya Allah. Allah, make the best of our deeds, the last deeds we perform before we meet you. Oh Allah, Allah, make the best of our days, the last day we live in this world. Oh Allah, ask you to guide our children. Oh Allah, guide our children, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, guide them. Oh Allah, allow them to see the light. Oh Allah, allow them to see the guidance. Oh Allah, you are the one who can take care of them. Oh Allah, oh Allah, guide the youngsters of the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah, guide the women folk. Oh Allah, allow them to live with haya and modesty and shame. Ya Allah. Allah, guide the men folk. Oh Allah, allow them to fulfill the rights of their family members. Ya Allah. Oh Allah, remove all the difficulties and the calamities and the different headaches that are inside of the homes, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, rectify the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, Allah, guide us towards the truth. Oh Allah, guide us towards hidayah, Ya Allah. Allow us to see guidance at all times. Oh Allah, allow us to make us from those individuals that see the good and act upon it. Oh Allah, make us from those individuals when they do wrong, they ask for forgiveness. Ya Allah. Allah, we ask you for your forgiveness for all the wrongs that we have committed. Ya Allah. We give the next minute or so for our own du'as. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Brothers that are fasting are requested inshallah to proceed downstairs. Volunteer brothers prepare iftar on a daily basis. Inshallah requested to go downstairs. Jazakumullah khair.